What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ash and today we're talking about how solo leveling ended, and now there's just an emptiness inside of my heart that nothing can fill. Or can it? That's the question, and maybe I can help you answer that. So we'll look into 10, 12, some round number of Manhwa, Manga, or whatever you call it, comic webtoons that you can check out now that solo leveling is done for. And let's just look into this. And I will agree with everyone who's watching this video. They rushed the ending. They should have given it a couple more chapters, because the way, I mean, yes, I cried too. I know you did, but I did too. But the way it went was too fast, and they didn't give enough notice or planning to. I don't know what they did. I've been told that the novel, the light novel, was also rushed, but I think there was some additional chapters where they gave a brief about his family and how his kids are living. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some extra chapters like we did for Attack on Titans. But yeah, solo leveling is done, and here's some manga manhwa that you can check out that I've read personally, and I've loved them. It's not solo leveling at level, but it's a good experience, good story. The first one is Omniscient Reader, the Omniscient Reader. Well, great story about a guy who reads webtoons, just like me and you. And one day he's on a subway talking to a really pretty girl, and bam, he gets into one of the webtoons that he was reading, which is pretty cool, right? Because that's what we all want to do. That's what we all want. But anyway, yeah, check this out. It's a really good take on how repeaters work. So I don't know if you've read any or enough manhwa or anime. You know that there's a term called repeater, wherein they're stuck in a loop and time traveling. This guy is a protagonist from our perspective, but from his perspective, the manhwa that he was reading had another protagonist, which is a repeater. So he's going through a series of time loops and doing his thing, and his role is to survive. It's really cool manhwa. I've read a couple of, how many chapters have I read? I think I stopped reading after one point. Yeah, 72. And it's around 100 chapters now. I'll get back to it because I was finishing some leveling, whatever. Another manhwa you can check out, this is manga actually, Boston School. This is a really cool, dope style OPMC manga if you are into OP main characters, which I am. I love main characters who dominate the whole story. So this guy, Seth, is a really aggressive guy. He fights about everything, and fighting is one of his passions. So he got into school, faced a couple of bullyings due to his family background, and then he punched the shit out of people, pretty much. The whole story is him punching shit out of people. It's got 3 seasons, 3rd season just started. I finished 2 seasons, and I'm not gonna read 3rd season because I don't feel like I want to continue reading this story. But it was a really good end at season 2, and I think that they should have finished it there. But they have a habit to mooch out of their content, which is fine. But yeah, check it out. It's a cool time story. You if you like ass kicking content, that's one of the good ones. Then Chainsaw Man, manga. If you haven't heard of Chainsaw Man, you're living under a rock. This is one of the coolest manga. Oh, by the way, this is getting an adaptation this year, anime adaptation. So if you want to stay up to the game and want to watch anime after you've read the manga like me, I don't know if it doesn't make sense, but yeah, great story, really cool characters. Some portions of the characters, the story doesn't make sense. This guy, Deiji, okay, so I don't know how to explain this, but there are monsters involved. And yes, there is some subtle, itchy content, but it's fine. This character is one of the favorites, Kobeni, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. But yeah, she's one of the dumbest characters. And Makima, the how do we call it? I don't wanna. She's not the main character, but she's also not the support character, and everything she does influences our main character, Denji. Man, I need to work something pronunciation stuff. Anyway, so yeah, Chainsaw Man, killing people while you have a chainsaw on your head, really good. I loved how it ended. I have no complaints with this. This is beautiful. You'll fall in love with Pochita, who is the I don't know if we have an image of Pochita. We don't, but he's the main demon behind Chainsaw Man, and the story revolves around how your fears create physical embodiment of demons. There's a realm of demons, and there is a realm of human, and then there's a cross intersection wherein demons are being revived into our world, and they're causing chaos. And there's a brigade of people who are trying to fight them to save people. So one of the meta, who's our protagonist here, becomes a demon, and he's a human. So that mix of both of them tries to protect things, but he's of course in a mess on its own, trying to figure out what purpose he has in life. Because again, he has a backstory which you should check it out. Yeah, you should probably read it, but don't listen to me. But yeah. You'll fall in love with Power, by the way. FYI, she's a great character. Oh, and don't trust what you see. Anyway, moving on. Overgeared is another manhwa you should check out if you like solo leveling. It's very much based like solo leveling, because there is leveling involved. There is character development involved, but this is actually a game wherein his equipment makes him overgeared. And again, overpowered main character, but he's helpful to others. There's team building involved, which is really good. Yeah, I like, and his name is pronounced differently in different, I don't know, interpretations. He's Greed or Gree or whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you know he's a protagonist, it doesn't matter. But yeah, he's a blacksmith who gets a legendary rank somehow, and it's supposed to be rare. And he doesn't tell anyone, and then he's exploring his own legendary rank, trying to figure out what he does. But the worst part is he has horrible luck, and that's what brings in the comic feel to it. All right, the next one is Latna Saga. I just finished it, very recent. Really cool story, has a gaming aspect to it. A man who's been isekai'd pretty much. Was chilling in his room just like me, reading or playing games, gets isekai'd into a world wherein he has to survive and kill monsters. But then he realized that in the world that he was just a tutorial, a 5-level tutorial, which once he crosses will get to be a part of the actual world. But guess what? There's an error in his system and he cannot progress after level 5, so he gets resetted to level 1. He builds his strength being in that crazy hellhole of tutorial level, becomes too overpowered, and then somehow, I mean, you can read after that, but somehow gets into the actual world, and then realizes that the people who joined in, so he wasn't alone, people who joined with him had already finished the story, and now he's just there with a mess of a situation, figuring out what to do and how to go back home. It's a really cool story. Again, overpowered MCs is my soft spot. That's what I like. Then we have Tales of Demon and Gods. This is very long. Trust me. It's got, 355 I've read, and it's still going. But I like how they build characters and they build story. So this guy, Line, had lived a crazy life, but guess what? When he dies, he gets teleported to 15 or 13-year-old himself back into the past, and now he knows everything that's going to happen in the future, so he's running it like a boss, like you see in every pretty crazy anime that happens, right? So he knows everything's that's going to happen, thanks to a temporal book that teleports his inner self into a young body. And now he's scaling up, leveling up, getting overpowered really quick, getting equipment that is important to his survival and the survival of the people around him. Really wholesome, kind of funny because again, kids do dumb stuff. Yeah, it's got a adaptation as well in anime, but I haven't seen it. It looks really bad animation. But check it out. The content is very good. The story is nice. Then we have FFF-Class Trashero. Pretty much, he's a jerk. That's the protagonist. But also, he's overpowered, and being an overpowered jerk, with great power comes great responsibility, right? And he evades all the responsibilities that come to him, which is not cool. And that's why, guess what happens? He has to try and figure out a way to. Oh, right, I forgot. He isekai'd as well. He got in a world and where he's treated as a hero, but everybody messes with him. That's why he becomes trashy. And once his goal is to kill the demon lord, and then he can go back to his world. But when he kills the demon lord, a report card comes up in front of him, and it says that your personality is F graded, and that's why you have to redo everything. And he gets pissed off, of course, and that's how the journey of a trash hero begins. So a really cool concept of not being a good and friendly protagonist, but a really ass protagonist. So like, I mean, it's a really fast moving story as well. I read it 92. That's like end of season 2, and season 3 is about to come, I think. So I'm just waiting for that. Really lovely story. And again, see, understand, I binge read. If there's content out there, I'll read it all in 2-3 days. Another really beautiful story, we have The Legend of Northern Blade. A wimp of a kid whose dad was one of the legends in history, and his dad dies right in front of him. And then, I mean, there's a whole propaganda wherein his dad is framed for something that he didn't do, and everybody boycotts him. But guess what? This kid, who was never taught martial arts, figured out a way to learn. Of course, there was some techniques involved, of course, and then he becomes OP. I mean, he's slaying people, he's helping people, and he's pretty much regaining the his father's legacy, and clearing his name of not being a bad person. You get it, but I think the animation and the graphics are really cool. The story is really nice. I've read it up to 105 and it's still going. The story is good. We have some main. So this is his dad, Kwan Ho Jin. Yeah, but you can check it out. Really cool story. Then we have Descent of the Demon Master. So how every isekai works, but this is different because he wasn't an isekai. I mean, it's a reverse isekai. So he was a demon lord, demon master. He gets backstabbed by one of his people and then reincarnates into a world, into a body of this kid. Of course, you can see him, Jin Hogang. And guess what? He has a personality of a demon king, man. He's gonna rip some shit up. But he's not alone in that world. There are other people who have similar powers, but he's really strong. And again, he's helping his family. He's helping people around him. He's building community, and of course, being a badass that he is. And to end the top 10 list, I think this is 10. I hope so. A returner's magic should be special. This is very similar to FFF-Trashero, wherein he had lived a life and then he dies, and when he dies, he gets transported back. His consciousness transported back to his younger self, and then he has to redo everything that is happening around him. But this time, he's gonna do it differently. He's gonna be an OP, really crazy, very smart character. But the fun thing about him is he doesn't have much powers. He can only use basic magic spells because he's not. He doesn't have affinity to magic, but he does have a very smart brain, and that's why he's the strategist. Really cool story. Goes back 10 years, and redoes everything, so he knows what's going to happen in the future and figure out. And to end, one bonus, what's it called? The beginning, after the end. I mean, if you Google manga to read after Solo Leveling, you should get this as a very basic recommendation. The beginning after the end, really cool manga, Manhwa. I love the art. It's in comparison to Solo Leveling. Of course, the fighting is different. This guy gets reincarnated into a world from childhood. So you see his journey from a baby to a kid to, of course, moving forward, we will see how he turns out as an adult. And there are some time jumps, but lovely story, lovely characters, a really cool kid. Again, overpowered. That's the theme, I think, of everything that I saw. So yeah, these are 10 plus 1 manga, manhwa, pretty much any webtoons or whatever you want to call it, to read once you're done with Solo Leveling and sitting alone sad, just like me. Check them out. You'll have fun. Good day. Goodbye.